Hello, kindergarten. Today we are going to start something new. We are going to read a story together about some instruments. And then I am going to teach you how to make your own instrument. So this is an activity that you can do with your family. You can do this at home, and you don't need to be in front of the screen to do it, which is very nice because I know that you spend a lot of time in front of your iPad or other devices. So this is an opportunity for you to be creative and to make an instrument. So we are going to get started with our story. It is called The Instrument Story. So our story has 4 characters. Here they are. We've got trumpet, violin, flute, and the twin maracas. So here our story begins. Trumpet, violin, flute, and the twin maracas were practicing at the park for their next concert. All of a sudden, trumpet blared, "I'm hungry and I want pizza!" The violin hummed, "Well, I'm hungry too, but I want fruit." Flute tooted, "Salad for me." And the maracas shook their heads, saying, "We want chips and salsa, please. We want chips and salsa, please." And here they are, dreaming about what they're going to have to eat. Practicing came to a halt as everyone tooted, blew, shook, and plucked, arguing to see who would get to decide lunch choice. It wasn't melodic, it wasn't harmonic, it wasn't music. It was noise! And the noise was so loud that it scared all of the birds and bunnies away. Then Flute began to cry. Trumpet, violin, and the twin maracas stopped playing. Trumpet said, "Let's have a potluck dinner." Violin said, "Sweet." The twin maracas nodded and said, "Yum, yum, 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 yum." The friends went to get their food and then met back in the park. Together they feasted on all of the delicious choices. Sounds like a pretty good lunch to me. Afterwards, they played "Mary Had a Little Lamb," and all the bunnies, birds, bunnies, and other animals clapped at their beautiful music. And so the instruments learned that sharing helps make beautiful harmony. The end. Thanks for following along with that story about the trumpet, the violin, the flute, and the maracas. The next thing that we are going to do today is learn more about the twin maracas. We will learn what family they are from, what instrument family, and we will learn how to make an instrument that is similar. Here we go. Hello, we are the maracas. We are part of the percussion family. We like to make a lot of noise, but we can play softly when shaken back and forth and loud if you hit us with your hand. How do we make sound? Inside our heads are tiny little stones, beans, or seeds. We mostly sound like ch, 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 ch. Can you make that sound with me? Ch, 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 ch. We play in the orchestra, mariachi bands, classrooms, and rock and roll bands too. Don't you wish you were a maraca? Now let's talk about the percussion family. So percussion instruments, first of all, try saying that word with me. Percussion, the percussion family. Right, so percussion instruments are pitched and non-pitched. That means that some of them make musical notes like our singing voices, do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, and some of them only make percussion sounds, the sounds more closely to clapping your hand. They are struck, like that, shook, brushed, or rubbed, like this to make the vibrations that make sound. And vibrations means something's moving so quickly we don't even sometimes see that it's actually moving. But that's where the sound comes from. So in the percussion family, the larger the instrument, the lower the sound. And the smaller the instrument, the higher the sound. Pitched percussion instruments have special parts that can change the tightness of the skin of the drum to change the pitch. Percussion instruments are some of the oldest types of instruments in the world. Now I have a few other percussion instruments to introduce you to today. Maybe some of them you've seen before, maybe some of them are new. When we are back in the classroom, you will get a chance to play all of these. Well, most of these. All of them on this first page, I'll say that. So we have, this one is the tambourine. We have the triangle, which you hold up like this, and then you use this stick to play that. The maracas, we hold one in each hand and go ch, 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 ch. The castanets, you hold like this and it goes clickety clackety, clickety clackety. And mini cymbals, you can hold in your thumb and first finger and you go ding. Can you try that with me? Ding. Next, we have some bigger percussion instruments. Now we have the marimba, which is a pitched percussion instrument, meaning that it plays notes like we would sing, do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. And we play it with these things right here, if you can see, they're called mallets. So we play with mallets. Sounds kind of like a piano. The gong is a big piece of metal that you hit with a big mallet right here to make a big cymbal-like sound. And then we have these medium-sized instruments in the percussion family. We have a snare drum that we play with 2 drumsticks like this, and it goes ta 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 ta. Can you do that with me? Ta 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 ta. And then timpani is similar, where we hold 1 stick in each hand, 1 mallet in each hand, but they're bigger, and so we know that they are louder and lower in sound. So it goes bum, 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 bum. Can you do that with me? Bum, 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 bum. And then the bass drum is similar to the snare drum, but we play it with 1 and we go ba, ba, ba with our mallet. So now that we have met a few of the instruments in the percussion family, it is time for you to make your own. So we are going to make something today that is similar to a maraca. It is a shaker, a single shaker, and the 3 things that you will need for this are, number 1, an empty toilet paper roll. Number 2, you will need some tape. And number 3, you will need beads, beans, seeds, or something small. So if you have somebody to help you right now, then this is a great time to start this project, and you can pause this video, ask for some help in finding these ingredients to make your own shaker, and then meet me in just a minute. I will show you how to make this. If you don't have anybody to help you, that's okay. You can pause now or keep watching to see what you have to look forward to. And then when you have somebody to help you at home, then you can pick back up where you left off. So let's get started on making your very own shaker. Okay, so to make our very own shakers, you need 3 things, as I just mentioned. You need tape. I've chosen just some simple masking tape that I don't need scissors for. I can just rip with my hands. I have an empty toilet paper roll, and I have some black beans right here. So these are just dried beans that I got out of my pantry. Oops, one just fell on the floor. Make sure that if you drop something, you pick it up, right? Clean up after yourself with this project. Some other things that will work instead of these black beans,
dried beans are great, but if you have seeds or even tiny little pasta, dried pasta, that will work. Other things, you could try beads, or if you have little stones, something that is tiny, that when you put it into the toilet paper roll, it will make some sound when you shake it and it bounces around. So if you need to, pause this video to go find those ingredients for yourself and meet me back here. I'm going to get started. The first thing that we need to do is tape off one end of our toilet paper roll. Eventually the beans or whatever you have will be in here and both ends will be taped so that we can shake it like this. So to start, I will just rip off a piece of tape and put it over the hole. That's what it's looking like to start, but that's not enough because the beans would escape. So I'm going to crisscross. Still not quite good enough. And notice how I'm letting some come over here to make it extra secure, sticking to the sides of the toilet paper roll. And I'm just going to tape this a few times. Make sure that it is completely covered. No holes. No holes. And then the last thing I'll do to finish this up is rip off a longer piece. That wasn't quite long enough. And I'm taping the sides like this to make it extra secure. And one more. I'm using enough to make sure that it is secure, but I'm careful not to be wasteful because I don't want to use more than I need. And I think that looks pretty good, don't you? So now that we have that end ready to go, we have somewhat of a cup. And I'm going to take some of my beans, and I'm going to carefully put them inside. Whoops, I'm making a little bit of a mess. I'll clean that up when I'm finished. And I want more beans than that, but we can't fill the whole thing because if the whole thing is filled, then there's nowhere for the beans to shake around, to move, and we wouldn't have much of a sound, now would we? So I filled it probably, well, I filled it up to here so that there's plenty of room for the beans to shake about. And now I'm going to tape the other side, just like I did the first time. So it took about, I think it took 4 pieces of tape to cover the holes, and then one more to loop around. There we go. And then my last thing, a little bit longer of a piece, and I'm looping around the sides here, making sure that it's secure, but not wasting tape. All right, and that is how we make our shaker. And you can play it like that, you can play it like this, and this looks like a pretty fun thing to decorate too. That could be your next step. You could draw a picture, especially if it's a white toilet paper roll, using some markers, or you could put some stickers on it. If you have decorative tape, that might be cool to loop around here. I have some glitter duct tape that might be cool to put on these sides here. I think I'll do that later. But then to play it, you hold it with your hand flat like this, put it on your fingers, and then your thumb, so it's like pinch, pinch, and you hold it. Go up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, and you have your very own shaker. So I went through pretty quickly. If you need a little bit more time to do it, that's okay. You can pause the video whenever, but those are the steps that you will need to follow in order to make your very own shaker. I look forward to seeing and hearing them next time I see you during our next live lesson. And until then, have fun.